Good evening, my amazing growers. You are welcome to Who is Your Farmer Series 3, Episode 4. And today we are exploring smart farming in Nigeria with a spotlight on greenhouse production and drip irrigation technology that are changing the game for farmers everywhere. We are joined today by Mr. Adeyemi Steele, an agricultural professional with strong expertise in greenhouse farming, irrigation management, and urban agriculture. Will be showing us how smart farming works in real life Nigeria setting and why it matters now more than ever. So let's dive in, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe so that more people can learn and grow with us. Thank you and remain blessed. So Mr. Adeyemi, you have the floor now. Mr. Adeyemi, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. And good evening, every smart farmer, urban farmer in this show. My name is Adeyemi Ayorinde, as I call her mommy, as she mentioned. And yes, I'll be taking us through greenhouse farming and irrigation farming in Nigeria, and the importance and the key features, the advantages, what we stand to gain in terms of benefits if we go into greenhouse farming, and also what are the challenges that we encounter in greenhouse or drip irrigation farming as in order to get the real picture of what it really means. Now, in a form of introduction, I would like us to understand smart agriculture. Uh, what we really mean by smart agriculture, it has to do with applying modern technologies and also datas that have been put together over the years, and you'll also be able to have some level of control over the environment and also improve your crop production. It just have to do with how you apply most of the modern technologies in your production, and while you are also going to have some level of control over. Aside that, it's also a profitable way of ensuring all year round production when it comes to crop production. And for smart agriculture, the most of the products that you can grow include vegetables, which we all understand, the categories of vegetables like tomatoes, bell peppers, habanero, and some herbs, including some other crops like broccoli, parsley, and other form of vegetables you can grow within the greenhouse, and also using the drip irrigation system. Now, for the greenhouse, someone might ask, what do we really mean by greenhouse? It's not actually the house is color green. That's not what we really mean. It's just a name given to the system of production, and also you have some level of control over the kind of products that you grow within the greenhouse structure. It is actually a structure, as you can see from that picture there, is a structure that encloses the plants and that you want to grow, be it tomatoes, bell pepper, and it comes in different forms. You can have the plastic films as the cover, or you have the solar that is used to cover the structure, and this also light intensity, and also help you to. What are the key features of a greenhouse? The key features of the greenhouse is that you have capacity to determine the temperature you want within the structure, and also from wind or no heavy rainfalls and also extreme sun condition because of the solar cover that you use or the plastic films used in covering the structure itself. One other good feature is that it helps to reduce the rate of insect and disease infestation because it's closed, so and it has just some few nets to cover it, and you can also control who enters the greenhouse structure per time. If and it also helps you to have a more sustainable way of producing your crops. Aside that, you have higher value paid for products that are produced within the greenhouse structure. One advantage of the greenhouse is that you can grow your crops all year round. Then for the drip irrigation system, a drip irrigation system, just as the name implies, the drip, it's in form of the normal drip system that we our doctors use within the hospital space, where the water is actually supplied directly to the root zone of the crop in question. So at a very low pressure, not being a voluminous water, not like the conventional way of irrigation where we have the runoff system, water being applied and it washes off the topsoil and other form of challenges that is encountered during the open field irrigation system. But in this case, the water drops directly to the root zone of the crop and it drops. You can also time it. You can say maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and you get your crops well irrigated. And the key features here is one, you have the water delivered directly to the plant root zone, and you also reduce the rate of evaporation and runoff, which also can lead to loss of nutrients, topsoil nutrients for the plant. Aside that, one good feature is that you can tank mix your fertilizer in the water, and which we call fertigation. So you can do two things at the same time where you apply both water and fertilizer to the plant. One good thing is that it's a very sustainable way for arid regions, and it's a technology that it's good for northern part of this country where some will have a longer period of dry season, and it works excellently for both open field and greenhouse farming. Now, the advantages why we need to go into encourage ourselves to go into greenhouse farming is this. One, you can easily calculate what you're expecting. So there is usually a higher returns and a higher returns on your investment. And also you can stay all year round being busy producing something without having the environmental factors significantly affecting your production, but rather you have a higher opportunity to produce quality products at the end of your production cycle. You also have some level of control over the temperature, humidity, and you reduce pest infestation. So you have cleaner and high quality fruits produced within your greenhouse farm. And also you have a better efficient use of inputs such as fertilizer. You reduce wastage, you reduce pesticides use because you have also enclosed the plants and reduce the rate at which they get infested by insects nor diseases. One other good advantage is that even you can plan your production in a way that you can produce all year round. Like if we look now during the rainy seasons, we have some high tomatoes that you might not like them to prepare some stew nor jollof rice for you, but you from the greenhouse you can have a cleaner and well healthier fruits of tomatoes that can be used to prepare your jollof rice and other things. And also for the advantages of drip irrigation system, We also look at the water usage. There is a significant drop of the rate at which you use water for irrigation by 40 to 60% compared to the conventional way of irrigation, and even compared to the sprinkler irrigation system. You also increase the nutrient efficient use, in the sense that you can also do fertigation using the drip system for your open field, and fertilizers are not cheap anymore, and this is applied directly to the root zone of the plant. And also for the drip irrigation system, you have some level of control of weed, because it's just the root zone that is moist for weeds to germinate. So you reduce labor cost, you reduce weed getting over the plant by just do some hand picking of the weeds within a short period. And you also enhance healthier crop for your market. Aside that, it also helps you to get a better and more sustainable way of utilizing your soil, because the drip irrigation work effectively both in any form of soil, be it sandy, loam, nor clay soil. Now, the benefits of this form of farming, both greenhouse and irrigation. One, it cannot be overemphasized that you have better and more efficient use of water, and you also minimize the rate at which you use inputs, be it fertilizer and insecticides, and you have a better growth condition for your plants, and you also reduce the stress on the plants, and also a more profitable product you get. And because these products are sold with higher value, and that means you have a higher return on investment for your both greenhouse and irrigation farming. This combination is especially effective for horticultural crops, as we mentioned: tomatoes, pepper, lettuce, strawberries, and the likes. Now, some major challenges. The major challenges, we know anything good doesn't come cheap, and we can tell that for greenhouse, the first challenge is actually the initial cost of constructing these greenhouses, which have to do with the greenhouse structure itself, and also trying to get the equipment, get all the drip irrigation system, get the tanks ready, drilling of boreholes. These are initial costs that affect that greenhouse farmers find as a challenge. Then the technical expertise, be it knowing when to open up the vents of the structure, when to do scouting to check for pest and disease infestation, and how to also control some harsh weather conditions, whether you want to install the black shade net or some other forms of climate control system. These are some technical expertise that one need in order to have a very good greenhouse farming experience. Then also the risk of diseases spreading is also one of the things, because if you don't have some level of control over who comes into the greenhouse, then you are sure that when you visit another greenhouse, you can spread diseases. And also the energy dependence in some areas where the greenhouses are automated, electricity is not cheap. So these are some major challenges when it comes to greenhouse farming. For the drip also, we can also tell you that the initial cost of setting up, because it also involves drilling of boreholes, it also involves some the drip irrigation system, filters, tanks, and the rest. These are all initial costs of having a proper drip irrigation farming system. Now, aside that, the clogging of the emitters, because the drip, they have just some tiny spots, and if you don't have clean water, you can get them clogged. And these are also major challenges if you are not having the expertise to know when to flush up in terms of maintenance and other things, monitoring the drip system. Then these are all some technical aspects that farmers need to know, in order to know when the pressure is not regular, when the pressure is not uniform, and also knowing when to do a proper fertigation. These are some few challenges that you encounter as a drip irrigation farmer in but in conclusion, I would like to let us know that this is actually the in thing right now, because we can testify that just the few people that are going into greenhouse farming and irrigation system have made food to be to be available. Some years back, we can tell that during the rainy seasons, we all fall back to dry tomatoes, and you have some black stews, but you manage it like that. But now, of recent, for some years now, you can testify that we still have some fresh tomatoes during the rainy season. So it's actually the in thing to go into if we want to have a sustainable food production in Nigeria. Although the initial investment can be, and the technical know-how can be a little difficult or be a barrier, but the long-term economic and environmental benefit outweighs these major challenges as regarding the cost. But with proper training, financing, and support, this technology in terms of greenhouse and irrigation farming have come to stay, and are encouraged that we also key ourselves into this system of farming if we must make Nigeria develop agriculturally and also have some good food sustainability. I think I will stop here for now, except and I'll go back to Mommy Ido. Thank you very much. Okay, Mommy, you wanted to remind me of my slogan: "No farmer, no nation." Thank you,
Yes,
man.
yes. So please, I'm going to be playing a short video. It's just for 3 minutes, and it's just to still encourage us about this issue of green farming and greenhouse farming and drip irrigation. So watch it. You can see the big cucumber. That's from the greenhouse of somebody. Okay. Did we grow it?
Yes, we grow it.
What? Why? Excuse me,
That's good, yeah.
Oga.
That's your mint leaf and
I know the name too, but
The daddy sugar, that honey.
see the beetroot there.
that's one of the beetroot. Then this one are the That's the greenhouse. When do you know when the carrot is okay?
Yeah, and you still get
You can see how green
Yeah, no, I
the
know
crops
about
are.
it, but what?
Then all this, why can't we remove it?
this one.
These are the backyard of somebody's house.
Yeah, we have just 6 weeks worth of the video. Yeah, because let's give it 1 more month at least, or 2 more weeks and see what happens. Because this person is close to this is the one that you start eating already. You know, these people are very right.
And it's all these ones.
They will want that this
See,
one.
it's all these ones.
This one, all those ones. But this one are cucumber.
So the pixie cucumber are not out yet. This one comes out faster.
Faster, yes. Those ones will come a bit too.
Because I take more of the when I pass. But this one now will take me to community.
Please, this sugar leaf. Why is it is coming with flower like this?
Which one
That
is
is
sugar
maturity.
leaf? This coriander.
No, it's coriander. It's not sugar leaf over.
This one I'm talking about.
It says coriander.
That's the name for it.
No, it's not sugar. Sugar leaf is stevia.
So, is this how it's supposed to grow? Because as I see this thing, so many bringing all those flowers. Where is someone with us?
Hold this one.
So
Hold this
why
one.
don't
I
we
want to
let's
do
move
proper
to
video. Hey,
the
it's my.
topic of
Okay. Now we are ready for questions. So please, if you have questions, just type it and then we'll answer. Questions, please. Please kindly type your question in the comment section so that we can answer them. Or does anybody in the studio want to ask a question? Mr. Salahu, do you want to kickstart?
Yes.
Okay, so ask
Good
your question,
evening.
please.
Yes, I would just like you to, help clarify, especially around the costs. For small order farmers, how they can actually kickstart and then grow to maybe or probably your own level. I don't know if you can help us because I know it's not quite cheap, but maybe there are alternatives to start with and all of that. Then we can grow, especially seeing it as a business and taking it more serious and getting to where we actually want to be. Maybe just like you. I don't know if you can make some clarification around that. Thank you.
Okay.
Over.
Mr.
I, I,
Adeyemi,
I
please can
didn't
you
I
answer
didn't
that?
get you, sir.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Can you hear him now? Mr. Adeyemi? Mr. Adeyemi, can you hear him? Mr. Adeyemi? Yeah, I think he's frozen. Mr. Adeyemi? Mr. Adeyemi? I think he's having a bit of a challenge. Mr. Adeyemi? Oh, I think he's having challenge with his internet.
Hello, ma. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, he's asking about the cost implication.
All right. The for greenhouses, they come in different sizes. We have it depends on the size you want, but the conventional size come at 8 meters by 24 meters, and also 8 meters by 48 meters. There are small backyard structures that we do at ATM Earth Greenhouse. We have the 6 by 12, and depending on your land size. So for the 8 meters by 24 meters, which is the regular greenhouse you find around, you would require a 12-meter by 30-meter land area for you to erect one. And that one, from other companies, you can find them. It depends. But also one other reason, for the flat rates for ATM greenhouse, we do that for a token for us, which it comes with the inputs and other things that is required, including seeds. It comes like that. For one structure, we do that for above 6.5, depending on the size of the where you want us to deliver to, and also because we also have to come do some visibility study and check the place. So I hope I'm fine with that. You're fine with the response, man.
Your internet is off and on, so we're not hearing you. You have so many questions already asked. Please, sorry, bear with us. We'll soon be back. Mr. Adeyemi.
Like the network is.
Yeah, the network is really bad.
So I answered that it depends on the location, it depends on where we are delivering to. But ATM Earth Greenhouse is we are fair in terms of our pricing, and in terms of our structure, we are up to standard, and we try our best to ensure that we reduce cost for every greenhouse farmer, most especially the metal framework is sourced locally. The only thing we import into Nigeria currently is the solar cover and the nets that we use, and also the drip irrigation system that we import. Those are the things that increase cost for us, but we have tried our best to bring it down to the barest minimum that we can entertain. And because we are going to be the one to provide the installation materials, we are going to provide you with your first set of seed to produce, seed of your choice, be it tomatoes, bell pepper. We are going to erect your tank stand for you, then you buy the tank. These are some of the things, services we also provide.
It's off again. We'll soon be back. What seems to be the problem? He said we should share all the questions with him so that he can answer them. But I'm saying that he has to answer them online. He's trying to log in again.
Bad here, or I don't know what's happening.
Okay, let me give you the next question, please. What do you do when you notice insect infestation?
Okay, there are various ways. You don't wait for the insects to attack. We have preventive measures that we educate greenhouse farmers to adopt, in the sense that regular visit to the greenhouse, regular scouting. When we call scouting, you pick randomly each plant, some plants, and check if you notice some insects, then you begin to apply curative measures. But you don't wait for that before you start doing some maintenance and routine check. And also, you do some preventive measures like fumigating the greenhouse itself, with some insecticides, rather than allowing it to affect the plants. Those are some of the things we encourage greenhouse farmers to do.
Hmm, 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 hmm. So Adeyemi is really having issues with his network.
But what I said is, when you notice that, but you don't have to wait for your greenhouse or your plants to get infected before you start treatment. There are preventive measures you take, and that's the reason for scouting. When we say scouting, you pick your plants randomly and inspect them to ensure that, once you notice one is having some pest or insects, then you begin to treat. But before then, we also encourage greenhouse farmers to regularly do some fumigation within the greenhouse system using some insecticides that, you can use to prevent some of the diseases or some of the outbreak of insect within your system. Aside that, we also encourage that you also wear your overall, in when you are going to the greenhouse. You ensure that you are putting on your overall, and you don't open your greenhouse structure wide for everybody to come in. It's not meant for everybody to come in. It's just like in the hospital case where you have some areas where you don't have everybody coming in without putting on some protective clothing, and that is the we call it PPE. which is the personal protective equipment, which has to do with the rain boots, the overalls, and also ensuring that it's not open wide for everybody to keep coming in at will. These are some of the things that we encourage greenhouse farmers to adopt. When you can prevent them, then sure, you'll be able to put the pests and diseases under some level of control. That is
Okay.
some of the technical aspects we take greenhouse farmers, we encourage them to adopt when you have such structures.
So let me take you have to take the next question now, please. The next
Okay,
question
ma.
says, I want to set up greenhouse in my house using normal net. How effective this could be?
Okay, if you are using the normal net, one thing for sure is that means the durability is not guaranteed, because those the nets that are used for greenhouse structures are they have a lifespan, longer lifespan compared to the regular nets that you have around, because these ones, the greenhouse nets have been built in a way that they can withstand the intensity of the sun. But for the regular nets, you know that after some time, it might not last even a season, or then it wears out. So the regular nets, you cannot guarantee the durability compared to the actual nets that have been designed for greenhouse structure. So it's
Okay.
also good, at least you can use that to keep mastering the act of managing and maintaining greenhouse before you can go into the heavy investment on greenhouse farming.
Okay. What is the cost implication for the start of irrigation farming?
Okay,
You
the
have so many
irrigation
questions. So you need to
farming.
be fast. You need to be fast, please. You have so many
Okay,
questions. Let's go.
the irrigation farming depends on the total square meter that you want to install. They come in 500 square meter, 250 square meter, 1,000 square meter, 1 acre. It all depends on the total land area you want to use for irrigation farming. Then that will be cost and provided for you.
Okay. Then somebody said, good evening. Oh, please, for the benefit of others, how can you ensure that pollination is not impeded as a result of the enclosure? How can you reduce cost? Two questions in one. How
Okay,
can you ensure
for
that pollination is not impeded?
Okay, for pollination, that the kind of crops that are grown within the greenhouse are specialized hybrid crops that are indeterminate. We call them indeterminate varieties, which they can do some pollinations within themselves. Even despite the wind, despite you enclose them, there's still a room for wind air to blow in into the greenhouse, so it can also help in the pollination process of the plant itself. But you can be sure that you won't have a cross pollination from another pollen from outside the structure coming in and polluting your actual crop. So for pollination, most of them are self-pollinating within the greenhouse structure.
How can you reduce cost? That's what the person is also asking. How can you reduce the cost of constructing of greenhouse?
Okay, for some fellows, because it's common here in Kano, you see a lot of people, and just in areas like just where they use some other materials. If you don't want to go into using galvanized metals, some people use wood, some use bamboo, but the only disadvantage of that is the durability. That means the maintenance you're going to be doing will be a bit higher, and you're also, for the wood and the bamboo, they are also susceptible to termites and the rest. But for the galvanized metals, you can be sure that they can be there for so many years, at least between 5 to 10 years. You can have your galvanized metals still standing. So you can reduce
Okay.
cost by sourcing other local materials aside the metals, because those are the most expensive aspect of greenhouse structure.
Okay, somebody said I have a small land behind my house. How can I carry out all these practices? The same person said, I mean,
Okay.
setting up of greenhouse farming and drip irrigation. The same person said, what is the cost of coming to check the size of land to determine the cost implication?
Okay, for that you share your location. When you share your location, they will come, will do the inspection and ensure that the land you have at the back of your house will can determine the size of greenhouse you can take, that space can take for you. So if you share your location, we can do that and know that okay, we are coming traveling to so place, or if it's within Abuja, we can send any of our technicians to come and do the checking and also check the land size and advise further.
Okay, so I will advise that person to share the location with me so that I can share it with Mr. Adeyemi. Don't share it online, please. Share it with me, then I can share it with Mr. Adeyemi, and then he will try and come for inspection. So I think in a nutshell, that's all the questions that we have. Thank you so very much for
Thank you,
staying
ma.
true to the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much
That's
for
it.
the opportunity. And I
Thank
believe
you.
that going forward, we will have more greenhouse farmers and that will be producing for Nigerian populace. Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you. That's it for today's episode of Who is Your Farmer? A big thank you to Mr. Adeyemi Steve for sharing practical knowledge and real insights on greenhouse farming and drip irrigation. Smart farming is already reshaping how Nigerians produce food, better yields, smarter water use and more opportunities, especially in our growing urban space. If you found this episode useful, make sure you like, subscribe and share. Let's spread the knowledge and support smarter farming across Nigeria. See you in the next episode. Keep learning and keep growing. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much and thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank God.